good morning or good afternoon or good evening, and today's yoga class will be a form of a hybrid practice where we're going to work with some fascia release work in addendum with the poses to really open the body up and free it up. So you will need one or two balls, two different sizes. This is a little bit bigger than a tennis ball. If you can have a chair nearby and a strap nearby, you will be set up, and a few blankets. I have some blankets. So set yourselves up to begin with, just sitting in a comfortable manner with the spine erect. And before we actually start the practice, it's always nice to set intention and to draw energy in. So palms are up, spine is long. Please close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And slowly let the breath go out. As you breathe in this next time, think of pulling air in through the base of the pelvis. All the way to the top of the head, and as you breathe out, dissipate it through every pore in your body. So you're radiating out in all directions. So in from the base up to the crown of the head, and out, radiating out in all 365 degrees. And one more time, in through the base of the spine, and out in all 365 degrees. Now bring your breath to normal and just center into your own space and your own beingness. So first and foremost, we usually carry a lot of our past and our future around as kind of static energy or attention on other people. So connect in to your own space and energetically let anything that doesn't belong to you return out and leave your space. So feel it radiating out and leaving. Literally drain yourself of the static of your life, and it can be literally because you love your pet, or you care about someone who's sick, or you have had a conversation with someone. All of it, just let it all go and send it back to source, wherever that came from. Let it go back. It's not your job. Literally just let go of it. And now take a breath in. And then breathe out and become centered. And then observe that perhaps there's bits and pieces of your consciousness and awareness that are out there in the world, and allow those parts of you that belong to you to come back. Pull them back. Feel them just coming back and filling and your space up, your beingness up, your consciousness up. It's like what belongs to you is yours. What doesn't belong to you should not be in your space. And there is a healing that happens everywhere when this happens. So feel all of you coming back to you. And again, take a breath in. And a breath out. And then look to see what intention you would like to set for today's practice. And to inspire this, I would like to share a quote that I read this morning, which said, "Dream as though you would live forever, and live as though you will die today." And so my intention for today is that I live fully and richly and totally. I don't hold back in any way, so I feel complete. And that includes this yoga practice. So whatever intention serves you, then take a deep breath in. Breathe out, let everything go. And open your eyes. Very good. So we will start with some breath work But we are going to start using the ball to help open up this base. The area of the pelvis has the pubic bone in the front and the tailbone in the back, maybe a little bit higher, and then the two sit bones. So it's a little, not exactly, there's the sit bones, and then there's a skeletal shape that literally goes from the sit bones to the pubic bone. It's like a wishbone, I like to think of it. So there's this base right down that we sit on, that we stand on, that holds the pelvic floor, but it's a very powerful foundation for holding the upper body and for also calibrating into the legs. We want it wide. So shift back and find your sit bone on one side and literally pull all the flesh out with your hands. And then sit back in the middle. If you've never done this before, this can be a bit of a shock. And if you find that your knees are very high up, you can kind of plonk something underneath them. But if they're relaxed, they will literally drop down. I'm actually going to do something very unusual because I don't have anything close. I'm just grabbing a shoe. Anything works. Props do not have to be expensive things from designer stores. They can be your world you live in. So you want to have this nice base. The whole thing with the ball is that you feel that you're lifting up and it's setting your sacrum and it's widening the pelvis. This is my left hand. I'm lifting it, but I'm turning it down. So this is an internal rotation. Lift the arm as high up as you can. It's fine to have the ribs move a bit. And with the other hand, I'm grabbing the flesh as close to the armpit as you can. Get the flesh of your arm and pull it back. So you're turning the whole arm, the inner part of the arm out in order to open up the connective tissue there. And then lift. Notice how much I'm pulling up to open up my side ribs. Then relax this hand down behind, in front, and look to get as much lift and openness in the arm as you can. And this should be stretching and opening up your left ribs if you're working with your left arm being opened. Now, with your head, press slightly back into the arms to get the rib cage nicely lifted out of the hips. And we will start breath of fire. As you do the breath of fire, please think of the breath going into the part of the ribs that you're stretching in order to open it up even more. Let's start. Now take a deep breath in. Pull the arm that you're stretching up and bend a little bit away from the stretch to open up even further. Open up the shoulder, open up the tissue of the arm, open up your armpit, open up your side ribs. Keep leaning back with your head so you're not crunching forward as you do this. Open up even into the waist if you can. Very intense and beautiful stretch. Come back up, bring the arms down, and just let everything settle. And feel the dissipation in energy. And you may find that the side you just stretched is a little bit higher because you've made a lot of space there. We're so much more elastic than we realize. We're not solid creatures. We're rather like seaweed or jellyfish or something. We want to access and open that. That means we're more hydrated, we're younger. Arm to the side, turn it in, lift it up, keep it facing so the thumb is forward. With the other hand, grab. Notice I'm grabbing all of that flesh and pulling it out. So you're exposing your armpit, you're rotating the flesh around the bone, and you're lifting up. You see how much I've lifted up. Then you let the hand drop down, wherever it gets to. Oh, this side doesn't feel as good in front. Send your head back. Make sure in this case, it's my right ribs. Make sure the ribs are lifted, and we'll start breath of fire. Take a breath in. Lengthen everything up, and on the out breath, open that side out. Press your left ribs into your right ribs to get more stretch. Use the hand that's gripping the arm to traction it up and open up even more. So there's a lot that goes on here. Go a little bit deeper if you want to open up into the waist. Depends how flexible you are. Doesn't matter where you're getting to. It matters that you're getting into your own body. Come back up. Bring the arms down. Let everything rest. Close your eyes. Just enjoy the feeling that starts to come in as you open up your body. It's almost like a buzz that starts to happen, and a tinglingness. And open your eyes. Tinglingness. I love that. Right hand is going to my left knee. Left hand behind. Big lift. Now, actually, we're backing up. I'd like you to put your hands on your ribs. Lift both ribs up. So when we spiral, usually one rib goes up and one rib collapses. We don't want that. Lift and rotate both sides and make sure you're not drifting off the center. Really stay that you're spiraling right on top of your own hips. See how far you can go without losing it. Now extend the one hand down. Don't lose it. Get the other hand behind. Don't lose it. Lift both sides of your ribs up and spiral more. Now as you spiral further, this hand that's in front is the shoulder blade's going to wrap around, let it go. The shoulder blade of the hand behind is going to go more into your back. Don't arch your back to get more spiral lift. And see if you can spiral further. And we're going to do breath of fire here. Here we go. Take a breath in, and on the out breath, spiral a little bit further around. Come back to the center. Lift your back up. Put your hands on both ribs. Spiral evenly. Check. We all can have funny little scoliotic patterns or strengths and weaknesses in the rib cage. We want to, as much as possible, reinforce straight. Other hand behind. Lift both sides of the ribs and start rotating around. Feel the hand that's in front, the shoulder that's in front is reaching around, and your head is rotating. The shoulder blade of the hand that's behind you is going into the spine. Here we go again. Take a breath in and spiral a little bit further on the out breath. Come back to the center and just feel your state. Should probably have expanded a little bit. We're going to shift now and bring the other foot in front. So it can be kind of surprising how different one side is from the other. We're going to do a shorter set of the same thing. So again, most important is the sit bones, up the center, broad shoulders, lifted head, left arm up, right arm behind, grab, rotate, open the ribs, and drop the hand down, and here we go. Take a breath in, and on the out breath, open the ribs up. Come back. Should probably be considerably easier now. And we'll do the other side. Other arm up. Grab the flesh of the arm, rotate it, and drop the hand down, lifting up as much as you can. And here we go. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, open the ribs. Come back. Sit for a minute. Feel the lift. Your ribs should start feeling like they're floating away from your body. And hands on the ribs will rotate to the right, opposite direction. I want you to also think that you're stretching the skin on top of the bones before you go deep. That part of the fascia system has to stretch too. Slight rotation. Here we go. Take a breath in and breath out, spiral further. Back to the center. Lift, rotate, other side, other hand, shoulder forward, shoulder blade back, and breath of fire. Take a breath in, breath out, rotate further, and back to the center. And now, stretch the legs out and roll off your ball. Oh my goodness. Sit back for a minute, just see what your pelvis feels like, your sit bones feel like once you have released all of that pressure from that area. It's a lovely, lovely feeling. Now, I hope you have 2 balls. And from here, if you don't have the balls or 2 balls, that's fine too. We're just going to turn now. You want this chair. So you will sit cross-legged, and we're looking to get as much lift in the spine here. So to help, I'd like you to lift up. Now we're not sitting on the ball. We're getting it to grab the flesh on the outside of the sit bones. So you want to find that sweet spot where you're actually touching the floor. Trying to feel, how can I explain this, because we're going to bend forward. That's not going to work. We're going to need the ball just under the thighs, in front of the sit bones. And now using the chair, lift yourself up as much as you can. So it's putting pressure into that part. And now reach the hands forward and gently stretch forward with the ball softening the tissue right there inside the thighs. It's really, we're softening the outside of the hamstrings, just in the area that connects to the IT band. Come back, cross your feet the other way, Adjust the balls into a slightly new spot, just to increase the range. Lift up again and again stretch forward. See how much you can hinge right from the hips, so it's right in the sockets. Some of you can go really far forward. Watch that you don't round. Use the chair to create lift. Come back and now get rid of the balls and see what it's like to sit. I'm hoping that you have more of a lift, and you will do the same thing again. So it's a slightly different angle. You pull up and you extend forward. Long diagonal all the way from the base of the spine. Cross your feet the other way and extend forward again. And come back up. Very nice. Extend your legs out. Bounce your knees up and down. As we get older, our joints tend to get more dry and stiff, so allowing the fluids to come back in is very, very useful. Let's massage the knees a little bit and rub all around the knees and the backs of the knees. We instinctively do things like this. We're basically moving fluid and the lymph system around when we rub and stimulate the area. Now, let's come back to a seated position and start working with everything in this manner. So sitting, actually I'm going to turn sideways just for a minute so you can see. When you sit, elevate the camera. You don't want to be at the back of the chair, but nice and tall. And we're going to hold on to the knees and do cat-cow. So cool back right here, contract the diaphragm backwards and scoop the belly in. Check with your hands that your lumbar spine is stretching. There's muscles there that become very tight. You don't want to feel them. You want to feel a very smooth feeling back there. That's where you're going for. Come forward, just for fun, put your hands there. You probably feel them tightening up a bit. So those muscles are the muscles we're softening and loosening when we do this. So keep going back and forth. It's a nice place to do cat-cow. It's nice for people that have trouble with the ankles and the knees and they can't sit on their heels or sit cross-legged as easily. Just as useful. And now we're going to add hands. Stretch them forward. So I've turned my hand inside out and round. So in this position, you pull the hands forward and then you lift the hands up. Pull the hands forward, rounding. Lift your hands up. Pull the hands forward. Lift the hands up. Pull the hands forward, lift the hands up, round, lift, round, lift. 2 more times like this, round, lift, round, and lift. And now come back to the center and sit. Just kind of get a sense of your own space. From here, get your knees and your feet even distance so you're nice and tall. Take your right foot and place it up. Notice it's just above my knee. So you're striving to get a 90-degree angle of your shin, more or less, to your body. How much can you lift up? If it's really hard for you to lift up, you can also put your hands on the chair and traction. In fact, this is good for all of us, but even if your shoulders are up, use the ability to push down. Then see if you you can lift right off the chair and then make the hips so heavy that the hips are dropping but you're lifting. So if you can get that two-directional concept and definition in your body, really good. Then from here, use your hands and press. So most of us round this way, and it's good, but if you can get the length coming in, you're really taking the stretch to a whole other level of detail and opening right around here, and then you're creating a lot of beautiful length in your back. So take your time here. There's a lot going on. Allow the bones to start to decongest. See if you can go a little bit deeper if you have that in you, but long. Notice what I'm doing with my hands, because we usually have stiff areas in our upper back. I'm using the push to get more space. Come back up. Sit. Feel that. Let's do the other side. So again, the shin is parallel. You just want to see as much lift. Get a hit and something, someplace around the chair that you can lift up. Starting to get a real nice stretch. And then start to come forward. See if you can be honest about it. This side has more tightness, so I'm not going to go as deep, but I'm right in the area that needs a good stretch. Just keep working forward. If you can go low, go for it. Enjoy it. Keep that traction. And come back and bring the leg down. From here, open your legs out to the side. And again, reach under your buttocks and spread the sit bones apart. And then see if you can come forward and towards the floor. Do you see that? You want that forwardness if you can. If you can hold the back of the chair or the floor and bend down. So we're getting a nice stretch in the hips. Bring yourselves back up. Bring your legs together and just let everything settle again. So you allow that moment of relaxation between your stretches. The next one is going to be an interesting one. You probably will want some kind of blanket nearby on the floor. This is what you will be doing. So I've got, gosh, some of you don't have this kind of a chair. Improvise. Just get creative. Like, hopefully you'll find something, a way to do this. I've got one buttock off and one buttock on. And then from there, I'm taking this leg down to the floor. So really what we're looking to do is have a nice stretch in here and then grabbing the foot and lifting it up. So just get that quad stretch the best way you can. If you can't, you can always do this standing. We want this area. Now, have a look at the angle. I have a little bit of a, it's not a complete straight line. So I'm moving my knee back. I'm bringing my buttock a little bit more forward. And then I'm stretching again. So the nice thing with a chair is you can refine the pose so much more than if you're doing it free form on the floor. You can do it on the floor. We do it often on the floor. This allows you to refine the geometry and really get into the deeper layers of where there may be blocks or problems in your own body. Bring the foot down and let's go to the other side. So I'm moving the towel over. Actually, I have another towel here. So adjusting so you can get down with the opposite leg towards the floor. So first you just get into the stretch. You want to be down there. the stretch to happen. So first, we're just going into the stretch. We're finding where the body's tight. We're starting to get in touch and asking the body to open a little bit. Then, once you've kind of loosened up a bit, you want to refine the hip alignment, get the hip more square, and pull the leg up more. Bring the leg down and come back. And now the next one will be again loosening up the spine. So we're really working into the pelvis, into the hips, into the rotation of the hips today. And we will now again come to a front hip stretch, starting with everything lined up. But now we take the foot and we bring it higher up. Now to set that up, you need to set up the knee. So you grab, right, you see right close to the crease? I'm pulling my calf around as much as I can. I'm lifting it around. Once I've got as much lift as I can, then I bring the foot in and then I pull the hand up. So all of this calf has been rolled up. And it's kind of like you're moving the calf out of the way for the knee joint to be able to bend and open the knee joint more. Again, more fluids, more mobility comes into this area. When you have that, just check to see how you're doing with it. And again, stretch forward. And bring the foot down. And then take the other foot. You pull the calf up. You bring it in. Get it as tight as you can. Make sure you pull the calf out. And if you feel like it, decide I'm just going to stay as is. Bend forward if you want to. And then bring the leg down. Now sitting in this position, take your strap. Bring the foot into the strap. And let's put the foot down on the floor. The first thing is how much you have a natural lift. So we're looking to get this hinge in the hip, not by letting the back collapse. That's ongoing challenge for most students. Can you lift the knee without the back collapsing? Can you straighten the leg out without the back collapsing? If you can get a 90-degree angle, we're starting to get into a lot of optimization of our joints. And then just find the stretch. So this is like Dandasana, but with one leg sitting in a chair. And a little bit lifted if you want to kind of celebrate your abilities. Bring the foot down and let's flip. So the other foot's in the strap. Lift your back up first. Lift the knee so the foot's off the floor and then stretch the leg out. Keep your body nicely lifted. Check that the leg is straight in front of you and not off to the side. Lift the leg higher if you want to. Bring the leg down. Very, very nice. Now, one other form of stretch. Keep the strap nearby you because we're coming back to it. Right now I'm sitting kind of in the middle of the chair. Bend the knee and bring it in toward you. Notice that I've rocked back. So you don't want to go too far back, but I'm no longer on my sit bones. My pelvis is curled under me. And see if you can grab your foot. So you want a sense of evenness in your pelvis and in your back. Now, can you lengthen your leg up? So you want to not collapse down in the low back, but it's definitely more rounded. But can you keep the space? Just hold it. If you're not holding your foot but your calf, it's fine. So it's a different way to get into the stretch of this area. Now bend and bring the foot up. Again, pull your calf and bring the foot as high up as you can. Now, I hope your strap isn't too far away. From here, take the strap. I'm bringing it in the middle, around my ankle. And take it behind your waist area. Now, my right hand, same hand as my bent knee, reaching it around and grabbing the strap. So you get the hand. Big trick here is in your waist, as much as you can around the waist. Grab the strap, the left hand on the knee, and you rotate. Now as you rotate, think of stretching this shoulder, get the elbow as close behind, so eventually the hand and the foot hold each other. Gentle rotation. Come back out. Keep your strap close by you. And we'll do the other side. So you round back a little bit and lean back into the chair. Get the thigh as close to your chest as you're able to. If you can hold your foot, do so. And stretch the leg up. Bend and bring the leg across and up. Grab your strap. Notice it's underneath, kind of between sides. Get a good strap gathering mechanism. Take the strap behind your back. Now it's this hand that's coming around to grab. So eventually this hand and this foot hold. You get as much of a closeness as you're able to. Other hand comes onto the knee and you rotate. And come on out. I call it chair pretzel pose. That's a joke. From here, let's come down to the floor. So you can move the chair out of the way. Have your blankets off to one side. And let's now take the bigger ball. So we are now, because we have moved a lot of work into the pelvis, we've also spiraled the spine. Let's just put some pressure all the way up the spinal column to encourage it to be more constructive. So take the ball, get it as high up close to the pelvis or sacrum as you're able to. Lift up your back, take a breath in, and on the out breath, start pressing into the ball. So the ball has a bit of a give, and we're looking to get as much pressure as we can into the base of the spine. So it's kind of touching my sacrum and pelvis and all the way up to the waist. From here, hold. Take a breath in, lighten a little bit, and on the out breath, really push into the ball. And now check. You want to pull your stomach towards your spine in the front, and then press your spine into the ball. So we're softening the bones. We're putting compression and pressure into the bones and softening all the tissue around the bones. Breath in and breath out, pressing in and stimulating that whole area. One more time, breath in and breath out, pressing into the area. So the ball has a bit, it's firm, but it has quite a bit of a give. So it's matching the condition that I want my body to be firm, but with a give. So we're trying to teach the bones and the ligaments to have that elasticity. Then from there, tuck your tail, roll a little bit further forward and roll down. So now it's more in the waist and beginning of my ribs. Check that the waist feels long. Take a breath in, and on the out breath, press into the ball and start to think of the ball tractioning the bones apart from each other up towards the head. Breath in and press upwards. So we're creating again a separation and a lift. And press. Look at your own body, that you're not swiveling to one side. So your hips should be even, your ribs should be even, your shoulders should be even. Curl your tail. So I'm curling my bottom, roll forward and drop down. Now the ball is in the rib area, just underneath the shoulder blade. By now I'm going to start holding my head. Breath in, and as I breathe out, I pull my stomach to my back, and then press into the ball to create pressure into those bones. Breath in, breath out, pressure into the bones. Breath in, and breath out, pressure into the bones. Lift your hips, roll further forward, bring your bottom down. So now I'm in the shoulder blade area, lower to mid shoulder blade. To expand your contact, pull your elbows forward so your shoulder blades spread, and then let the elbows float apart, keeping the shoulder blades wide. We want to stimulate and open that area. Lighten the pressure a bit coming up, pressing into the ball, still keeping that stomach nicely supporting your back. Breath in. Breath out. Start to be aware of where your head is. Most of the time the head wants to be forward. Can you have a sense of it being long and up away from your body? One more time. Lifting and pressing into this area, waiting for the tissue to soften. Lift your hips a bit. Roll further up. So now the ball is right between the shoulder blades, and press into the ball. Breath in, breath out, pressing into the ball with the spine nice and long, the head long. It will have harmonics into the chest, but you don't want to be doing a back bend. You want to be lengthening the upper thoracic spine. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time in, breathe out. Oh, that feels good. Lift your hips, come further forward. Now the ball is right at the top of my rib cage. So upper shoulder blade and that area just going up to the beginning of the neck. Interesting area to get into because it's layers and layers of muscle here. Bring the elbows together, really spread your shoulder blades apart. Breathe in, lifting a bit, and now lengthen that. You can even use your feet to create length. See if you can press into this area and have it press into the ball. It gets stuck and tight and rigidified. Again, breathing in and press into the ball. One more time. Press into the ball and just open the elbows and close them a few times, keeping the shoulder blades wide. I'm hoping your shoulder blades are draping the sides of the ball and not crunching towards each other. The ball's really blocking them from gliding. Now come further forward. I'm going to move back so you can see, but you want to be now with the ball under your neck. It's a lovely, delicious place to have the ball. So here's the ball under the neck. The hands are nicely by your sides and roll the shoulders down away from the ears. And press your head into the ball and release. Press the back of the head and the neck into the ball. So you're literally massaging your skull as well. And release. One more time. Pressing into the ball. Releasing. Roll your hips up. Now when you roll your hips up, it's going to stretch your neck and your shoulders out. Wiggle your hands towards your feet. Feel that lovely stretch in the trapezius muscles if you can. And roll down. And again, rolling the hips up, stretching and lengthening the muscles even more. Pressing your head into the ball, rolling down. And one more time like this, rolling up, pressing your head into the ball, and rolling down. All the way. Now, to come out, you grab your head, you grab the ball, you pull the ball out, and you lie down on your back and lengthen your legs out for a minute just to feel what you've just done. So a lot has happened right now. Now to continue this spiraling movement, please stay lying down. I just need to adjust the camera. Here we go, so I can see what I'm demonstrating for you. So from here, we're going to start to loosen up the upper body. I want the arms out in a V shape. So first of all, the arms are nice and long. We've opened up the shoulders and the side body a bit. Just drape the arms down. And extend them back to a Y. Drape them down. Extend them back. One more time, drape them down. Extend them back. Now, one arm comes up. Lift your head and follow the hand and roll over so it touches the other hand if you can. Just let yourself spiral into this position. Then the hips will lazily roll back and your hand will come back. Lift the other hand up. Follow it with your eyes and roll so you get hand on hand. And then the hips roll back and the hands roll back. Again, hand comes up and roll. So you want this whole stretching of the whole back line and back. Other side, roll. And rolling back. One more time, lifting and reaching. And rolling back. And last one, lifting and reaching. And rolling back. Now from here, clasp the hands and put them on, so I've turned my palms inside out. See if you can get them on top of your head. And now it's the internal rotation that we worked on in the last position. In the beginning, in the breathing, just stretch the arms up. Bend them back. So it doesn't matter if they go to straight or not, or if they're on the floor or not. Just notice what's being stretched. Imagine that you're in this web of tissue that can use some reprogramming. It got a little dry and a little fixed and a little dehydrated. So even if you feel a pull on your skin, that's all good. Turn around, change the clasp. You'll do this again. Stretch and back. And stretch and back. One more time. stretch, and back. Now we'll come back to working on our joints. So take your strap. Let's start with the knees bent. And in this position, get your spinal column as long as you can on the floor. The floor is such a good measure. Sometimes if our back is completely flat, our tail is off the floor. So you want to be aware that you're not looking for that, because that's actually not the maximum position of the body. Check your pubic bone and hip bones. That's a good way to measure that the pubic bone and hip bones are the same. And if your low back comes off the floor when you've done that, that's fine. So you get the back in as long of a position as it's ready to be. Take your strap and put it around your foot. Extend the foot up to the ceiling and check, because if you're a flexi person, you're going to have it up here. You want it right above the hip, and then with your hands, pull the strap, pull the leg, and imagine you're taking the hip and you're pushing it down into the socket. Really see if you can get in touch with that feeling of it going in, and then get it as long as you're able to go without losing that and without losing your long back. Slowly extend the opposite leg out. Don't distort. So if you can't get it straight and you're still here, I'd rather have you do that. So you do the best you can. So you want to hold this position and just start to kind of get in touch with the angles of what you're doing. This leg that's straight on the floor is the knee and the foot pointing to the ceiling. Most people will have it rolling out. I'd like you to put your hand on your hip and then iron this muscle down a little bit, just to encourage it to go straight. Do the best you can to keep the leg straight and long. As I said, I'd rather have you a little bit bent. I'm going to keep this knee bent because it works better for me like that. Right hand is high up in the strap, left hand to the side. Start taking the hand sideways. Now keep your hips square. So if you're not completely open in the inner thigh, you're not going to get to the floor. Now let yourself get to the floor even if you roll, just to start to get that mobility. Notice that this leg is turned in a little bit. Bring the leg up. Change hands. Crossover. Keep this hip down. Go as far as you can with the hip down, and then slowly start to rotate towards the floor. I will have to adjust. Stay on the floor. So you go all the way down. Bring yourselves back up. Bend the opposite leg up. Bend the knee in for your figure 4 stretch. Press the knee out. Now this is a point most everybody swivels around. So please, let's practice doing it the right way. Get your hips straight. In other words, pubic bone, hip bones. Keep your hands here. When you lift the foot up, nothing should have moved. When you open your knee out, nothing should have moved. I hope you're being honest. It's so easy to do this. It's so easy. Then you're in a different stretch. Not bad. It's just like, why not really get the joints and understand your anatomy? Now bring the leg up closer to you and get a hip stretch. Slowly extend this leg up. Slowly bring the foot down. Take your hands to the side. Drop the knee to the floor. So this is an unusual drop. Press the leg away from you. Come back. Cross the knee over. Drop both knees in the same direction. Come back. Drop both knees. I can't do this. Drop both knees this way. I'm going to stay here. So you just drop both knees to the floor. Bring yourselves back. Take this leg now and happy baby pose with one leg. The other leg is extended out. Take this knee and press it towards the floor. Bring it back. Hold the foot with both hands. Pull the leg towards your face. Watch it. This is where people want to pull. You need the foot. If you're looking straight up, your goal is to get the foot right above your face. Then you pull it closer in. Bring the foot back down. We'll do the same sequence on the other side. Take your strap. Get it around the foot. Lift the leg up. Check that it's right above the hip. Notice how easy it is to drift beyond. Is your back long? Keep that position and stretch your other leg out. So you're striving to have a 90-degree angle. Check that the leg that you're working on the floor is straight. It can feel really strange because you're retraining muscle patterns into an optimal alignment that may be not what you're used to. Take the strap with one hand and take it out to the side. First of all, keep this hip down. And then let it go and go to the floor. Bring the leg up. Change hands. And take it across your body and lower to the floor. I'm not going to do this side. You're dropping all the way down. Bring the leg back up. Bend the foot that's on the floor and bend the foot up in front of the knee. Check that your hips are straight. I hope you didn't swivel, and now bring the leg closer into you. So pull it in. Extend the leg up to the ceiling. Bend the leg back. Drop both knees to the floor. You're dropping to the right. Slowly come up, cross the knee over, and again drop, same direction. I'm not going to do that. Bring both knees up, drop both knees to the opposite side. Come back up and take your leg and get it into happy baby pose. Lift it up, extend the other leg out and pull the knee down towards the armpit. And then bend this foot up, reach up with both hands and hold that foot. See if you can get it above your face and pull it towards your face. Not going to do this. So very important that the foot is as close to above your face as you can get it for the correct pressure into the joints. Bring the legs down. Bend both knees into your chest and rock side to side. feet. Lift the legs up so they're hip width apart and stretch down in this position. So we're going into happy baby pose. See how much you can get that sense of spreading in the pelvis the way we did at the beginning of the class with the ball. It's the same kind of opening you're striving for here. Then take your right leg and extend it. Bend it back. Left leg and extend it. Bend it back. Both legs extend. Bend them back. Bring both knees to the chest and kind of cradling the knees, drop them close to you into a twist. Come back and drop both knees to the other side into a twist. Come back and get your feet down on the floor and settle yourselves out for your Savasana. So nice long spine, long back, long open shoulders and collarbones, and just relax. And then bend your knees in a very relaxed way, lazy way. Roll to your right side. Just stay there for a moment, feeling your bones, feeling the heaviness, feeling the mass of your body. Press yourselves up to a seated position. And to finish, just sit for a minute. And bring your hands into prayer pose at the heart center. And give thanks for the wisdom and teachings of yoga. Give thanks and honor all the teachings that cross your own path and enhance the wisdom within you. And give thanks and honor the inner teacher inside of you that's always there for honor, for guidance, and for connection when you look inwards and you listen to the truth in your own hearts. And let's ask for wisdom. Let's ask for subtlety. Let's ask for acceptance and for the courage to let go of everything so that truly we can live in the glorious life that is surrounding and blessing us. Take a deep breath in. Bring your hands up to your forehead or third eye. Down to your lips for a kiss. Down to your heart and bow your head to your heart. May the mind always be the servant of the heart. Then lift your head and open your eyes and namaste.